Good morning, you're watching Sunrise here on Sky News. It is 6:35. Breaking news to bring you while you were watching the adverts. Sky News petition to establish an independence debates commission at general elections has just passed 100,000 signatures. Now that means the matter has to be considered for debate in Parliament. This is after we launched this campaign back in September. In a moment, we'll find out what the next stage is. But first, here's Sky's Lewis Goodall.
The next stage of Sky News' campaign to make general election debates happen has been reached. Over 100,000 people have signed a petition on Parliament's website to call for an independent commission to set up, organise and run debates between political leaders at each and every general election.
I want to say a big thank you to all of those who have signed the petition, and I urge the petition committee to make sure that this petition for an independent commission is debated in the House of Commons.
So what happens next? Now our petition for an independent debates commission has reached the required number of signatures, it will be considered for debate by the committee, made up of 11 MPs from Labour, the Conservatives and the SNP. Debates that are then organised won't take place in the Commons chamber itself, but in a separate debating room, Westminster Hall. In addition, a government minister will be obliged to respond. So far, they've said it's a matter for political parties to resolve.
Please welcome David Cameron, Nick Clegg and Gordon Brown.
Election debates between leaders are commonplace in most other Western democracies, but in Britain they've only happened in full once, in 2010. In 2015, David Cameron insisted on their dilution, and in 2017, Theresa May point-blank refused.
It's an excellent idea.
I'll support the petition. As soon as I get the opportunity to sign it, I will.
Some politicians want to see them restored and are backing Sky's campaign.
It's absolutely essential. I think Sky deserve a lot of credit for pushing this very hard. The last election was an absolute travesty. We didn't have a proper exchange of views. The economic promises were completely uncosted on both sides. They weren't being challenged. So having a proper debate, and I'm certainly, as a Liberal Democrat, very much up for being part of it.
I think it would be very difficult to envisage future general elections without leaders' debates happening.
Well, we didn't have them last time, last year.
Well, and I think people noticed it. And I think there were debates, but they weren't necessarily in the way that they had been before. And I think that actually that did come up on the doorsteps. So I don't think the party leaders are going to want that to be an issue they're going to have to answer questions about in the future.
In America, a commission like the one Sky is proposing has been in place for decades, resulting in debates every election year since 1976. But in Britain, Prime Ministers have historically done all they can to get out of them. Intriguingly, though, with Theresa May backing the idea of a Brexit debate with Jeremy Corbyn, and with the issue being debated in Parliament, perhaps next time it will be much harder for the Prime Minister of the day to get out of them. It says much about the ability of politicians to set the terms of our democracy that these debates haven't taken place regularly before now. By taking it out of the horse race between the politicians and the broadcasters, it might be the only thing to circumscribe that ability permanently. Lewis Goodall, Sky News, Westminster.